Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most useful and active tenses in English, the present continuous. So let's jump right in.
And just so you know, for this explainer, we're building on some really fantastic materials put together by the team over at BBC Learning English.
Okay, so to kick things off, I've got a question for you. Seriously, what are you doing right this second?
Well, whatever else you might be up to, I know one thing for sure. You are learning English. And see that? Just like that, you're already using the very tense we're here to talk about. And that example? It's the perfect lead-in to our first section here, what's happening now? This is all about getting to the heart of what the present continuous is really for.
So here's the key idea, the big takeaway. We use the present continuous for actions that are in progress at the very moment we are speaking. It is, quite literally, the tense of now. Okay, so how do we actually make these sentences? Well, the great news is the formula is super simple. Let's break down how to build it.
Yeah, just think of it like a simple recipe with 3 easy steps. First, you grab your subject. You know, I, you, she, they. Step 2, you add the right form of the verb to be, so am, is, or are. And for step 3, you just add your main verb and tack ing onto the end. I am watching, she is studying, they are swimming. See? Simple as that. Now, before we dive into questions and negatives, here's a quick but super important tip. This tense is for actions, things you do. For verbs that describe states or feelings like know or love or believe, we almost always use the simple present. So you wouldn't say, I am knowing the answer, you just say, I know the answer. It's a really key difference to keep in mind. Okay, with that said, let's get into making questions and negative.
And you know what? It gets even easier. To make a sentence negative, you only have to add one little word, not. So, I am watching TV instantly becomes I am not watching TV. You just pop that not right after the am, is, or are. That's it.
So, what about questions? Well, the rule is pretty much just as easy. You just swap the subject and the to be verb. So, if we take a sentence like, you are walking, what does it become?
You get, are you walking? You literally just flip the first 2 words around. It's a simple little switch that turns a statement into a yes or no question every single time. Okay, so we've totally nailed that this tense is for things happening right now. But guess what? That's not the whole story. Let's check out a few other really important ways we use it that go beyond this exact moment. Yeah, this is where you really see how flexible this tense can be. First step, we use it for temporary situations, right? Like, today he is taking the bus. Maybe he usually drives, but not today. Then we've got repeated actions that are happening around the present time, like we are testing the computers for viruses regularly. And last but not least, and this is a huge one, we use it for definite future plans. Something like, we aren't attending the meeting tomorrow.
Okay, you've seen the formula, you've seen the examples. I think you know what time it is. Let's do a quick quiz to see how much has sunk in. You ready?
All right, first one up. Which of these adverbs do we often use with the present continuous when we're talking about something happening right now? Have a little think.
So are your options A, yesterday, B, currently, or C, always? And the correct answer is B, currently. I am currently learning English. Sounds perfect, right? All right, ready for another one? Take a look at this sentence. How would you fill in that blank? The kids blank swim in the pool. Think back to that 3-step recipe.
Well, the kids, that's plural, right? So we need are. And then we take swim and add ing. So, of course, it's the kids are swimming in the pool. Nice.
Okay, one final challenge for the quiz. Let's take the sentence, she is cooking dinner. How would you turn that into a question? Remember that little flip we talked about?
Yep, you just swap she and is you get, is she cooking dinner?
Awesome job! Okay, you totally crushed that quiz, which is awesome. And now it's time for the really important part, your turn to practice and make it your own. So here are a few ideas to get those gears turning. First, just look around. What is happening near you right now? Then, think about a temporary situation in your life. And finally, think about your plans. What are you doing this week? Actually, writing or saying these sentences out loud is the absolute best way to make this grammar stick. And just like that, we're at the end of our deep dive. The real takeaway here is that the present continuous is all about life in motion. It's active, it's dynamic, and that leads me to my last question for you. So, what are you doing next with your English?